That's right, Maestro Drake Saturday night. This is a very special night. Linda Park. This will be a 10-minute video. If you want to see it on YouTube, I'll let you know the instructions to see it on YouTube. Not too hard. I also paid for a request. If you don't want to do it, let me know. I'm an understanding person. Understanding enough, compassionate enough. But anyway, as you can see, both of these are the actual things you see in my avatars on Instagram and YouTube and X, formerly known as Twitter and all that. So let's move on. As of this recording, less than 4 hours left of my 47th celebration. Do I feel old? Well, it's all in the perception, it's all in the mind. I share the same birthday with Clint and I believe Brooke Shields. But since I usually do Saturdays based on Linda Park, Hoshi Sato, Korean culture, theater, there's a little bit of relation here. So I'm going to play a clip from the interview she did. I did it before. This is Imagine Talks 2021. And I'm going to tell you a couple of stories really quick about my life.
Struggles of being an immigrant family. And it's very difficult for a person whose parents are working all the time, who's being made fun of at school, yeah, whose parents are in a different culture entirely. My parents went from having no money to suddenly having a lot of money through the whole LED business booming. My dad, right, crazy entrepreneur, and was looking for the next thing. Like, they were fanny patches. We went from lower class to upper middle class, and they.
Now, I'll tell you what, I don't know if it's these kinds of LEDs or diodes, little LEDs you get in Christmas lights. I kind of like the old school 80s, the old school lights that are like bigger with the soft whites, you know, those little diamond shaped ones over the LEDs. But anyway, I never got into fights at school. However, did get bullied a lot since nursery school all the way through high school. It was a very difficult life. And one of my classmates that I had to deal with in private school was somebody you worked with in a show you worked a few years ago. So the one of your co-stars that you worked with, I went to school with that person. I will not tell you who that person is. I would tell you in a private missive, but I would not tell you I would not broadcast it because I don't want people coming up my backside to pressure me about be friends. Like, no, I don't wish ill will. I just want to move on. So, my parents, a long time ago, my mom was an immigrant. She came here in 1947. She's 10 years older than your mom. And they went into the ceramic doll. Harlequin Ceramics is what it was called. Harlequin Ceramics with ceramic dolls. The problem was my parents would always fight. My dad had a very bad temper, drinking all the time, smoking all the time. And for the most part, he would hit us kids. He saw us, I mean, we were not sexual targets, thank the lords of the universe, but we were his punching bags. So if he wasn't angry at my mom, he would hit us. So it could have been me, the sixth mouth to feed, or it could have been fighting with my mom. But the Harlequin ceramic business stayed out of business. They used to sell dolls, ceramic dolls at the swap meets, but now it's like, you know, they just stopped doing that. So they never thought this far ahead. They never thought about LEDs at all. So we always stayed in the poor areas. We always stayed lower class.
Somehow, when I was 8 years old, I found the community theater in Milpitas called Rainbow Theater. That they would not drive me to rehearsal, so the director would pick me up on the way to rehearsal because they did not want me doing theater.
Now, I guess I didn't do acting. I did a little bit of like a stage performance in the fourth grade that was sort of like kind of not twerking, but the precursor to twerking. I did that. It was based on Deo from Beetlejuice. That was 1988. But I didn't do theater until I was in college. And my father was like angry at me for using a stage name. And it looked like he was going to hit me. And I ended up quitting a play called Gentleman's War at East Los Angeles College. This was back in 1998. And my father was trying to control me at 20 years old. Okay? This was 1998. I will never forgive my family for that. But, you know, when you're 20 years old, or most people are 20, they're easily gaslit. They're easily tricked. They're easily impressed upon. Nobody is gonna impress me at 47. I don't care. Okay. I've got a temper now. And I know what a bully is. My father was a bully. So because of my father, I mean, they would never take me to the theater. They would, or to the college theater. So I didn't get to do Gentleman's War. I didn't get to do The Way Rains Like Grass. And I didn't get to do a couple of other plays because my father and my mother were very against me doing theater. It wasn't about me getting bad grades all of a sudden in college. It was just that the way they were kind of cock blocking, and it was very disrespectful. If I was 15 or 13, I could understand. You're a kid, you got to do what you're told. But I was an adult. I am an adult. Like, what was that all about? Yeah, really? So I kind of made up for it by doing a play in 2009 for Berube Theater or Berubian Theater called Vampire Masquerade. And I did that, and it was on near the Sunset Strip, 2009. And I talked about this on my YouTube channel. So maybe I'll put a link to it in the description for my YouTube video if I want to post this. Um, it's just that my parents were always a hindrance at times. Yes, they did provide for me. They did put money and food on the table, but it's like Gene Hackman, and I never sang for my father. It was always a conflict. So today at 47, I'm kind of doing the things I want to do. I don't need people to impress upon me who they are. I know who people are. Either you're going to be the person I hope you would be, or you're not. So that's where I'm at 47. There's no theater projects out there, but I might see some plays later on this year. There's still the Harry Potter one. And I think Brian Henson's doing something that I'll just watch. And it's a roll of the dice. That's what it's all about. So uh, if you're there, Linda, thank you for at least listening. If you could not do any videos, thank you at least. At least think of it this way. I get my 129 back. Anyway, happy birthday to me.